Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is August the 16th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Friday to ya. Hopefully this energy catches you, is some wind in your sails, at least in the audio sense. And if you're not listening on a Friday, that's okay. Hopefully that energy still carries your way on that day. But yeah, like I said, good day. I will say, getting in towards the evening, I'm having a very chaotic evening, and I'm not loving that. But we'll get into it, right? Starting off at work was good. It was fine. Dare I say, not even that busy. So that was nice. It's always good when you have a light Friday. So that was fun. But throughout the day, I noticed that my left hand has just been hurting me, radiating a pain. And I realized for some reason, it just feels like my middle finger just really hurts. This isn't a middle finger joke or anything like that. I'm just in pain for some reason, and I can't figure out why. I didn't ding it, nothing happened, didn't pull it. I keep trying to crack it to kind of make it feel better, and nothing, nada. So that's been annoying. Then on top of that, I've been having issues with my living room AC unit. I don't use it very often, but it's got this plate on it that just keeps falling off, and I'm not a handyman. So I've just been keeping it up with tape and not calling my landlord, because I just I have a very tenuous relationship with my landlord, or landlords in general, I should say. Makes sense if you listen to this podcast. But anyway, is what it is. So that I've been dealing with that before I went on, to this episode, before we pressed the press play button. So that's been stressing me out, but hopefully, I get that sorted out by next week or something like that. I guess I'll keep you posted on that front. But also, it is warmer today. It's been stormy for the first part of the day, and now it's just really muggy and hot, which is very, very classic Cincinnati style. Very, it's so us. It's so Ohio Valley. Anyway, let's see here. Food corner. I feel like I haven't talked about that yet in my usual, summation. I feel like that's the right word. Anyway, let's see. Food corner. Korean fried chicken. Yeah, it was yummy. We've been running hot on the spicy chicken packages that I've been getting from the store. So I was really happy. Been happy. Let's see, what did we do here? There was a little bit of a twist. I did do the white rice, but in terms of the sides, I did a bit of a sampler. So I had one little samosa, and it was a chili curry samosa. Then I had one steak and cheese taquito, and then I had one egg roll. So there you go. I really treated myself a little bit. I splurged a little on me in making this meal last night, and it all went down good. And then I had a little bit of lettuce too, a little bit of roughage. So yeah, went down easy. It was good. It was yummy, nice and spicy. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, and we can get into some news, some hot news. Hopefully that sounds good to you. Do 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 do. Yeah, that hit the spot. Okay. Ooh. So we are going back to Thailand from Al Jazeera. Who is Paetongtarn Shinawatra? I'm still getting these names wrong. I'm so sorry. I even tried to run a pronunciation, and I'm still fucking them up. Thailand's new youngest prime minister. So the results are in. They didn't take any deliberations. I guess you love a quick election process, at least when it's amongst your parliamentary peers or whatever. And plus, this shit does kind of feel very locked in, but I'll try to get into it the best I can. The Thai parliament elected its youngest ever prime minister, Paetongtarn Shinawatra, on Friday, just days after the dismissal of former Prime Minister Srita Savisan. Here's more about Paengtantang and what happened in Thailand. God, I know someone is throwing rocks at me, and I know. I'm so sorry. But hey, I do the best I can, and once again, you'll always have my apologies. If you ever hit me up and just start wanting to scream at me, just know that I feel bad about it too. Constitutional Court judges voted 6-3 this year to accept a petition submitted by 40 senators to remove Srita from the Pheu Thai Party, which we talked about in the previous episode. So I'm going to go ahead and just skim along there. They said, yeah, you're done. This felt like a very political kind of like hit because we knew that it's like, yeah, you did a bad thing, but it's like everyone kind of knew about it. And like, why are you going to like get like actually ousted for this? But okay. Paengtantang, who is 37, is the youngest child of billionaire Tasken, 75, founder of the Pheu Thai Party, with which Srita was also affiliated, which is why I kind of said, hey, this is like a political kind of jab at him potentially. But then I'm also still confused because it's like, well, you felt that you needed to put his youngest child. Also, it's worth noting that Paengtantang's sister was also a prime minister who was also put into self-imposed exile when the shit hit the fan in Thailand. So this is all very strange to me. I know I've talked about it, a lot, and I want to say a lot, but throughout the breadth of this podcast, we've mentioned Thailand. We talked about Thailand when it's come up, and I feel like I learn a lot, but then the more I learn in any of these situations, I go, wow, there's just still so much more to learn about the history, about the political intrigue that's going on in each and every one of these countries. And I'm always fascinated, and I'm always like, damn, like I'm forever going to be a neophyte to this shit. Like I'm always trying to learn a lot, but it's like, man, it really is like learning like about the world as it's happening. But anyway, let's continue. I'm sorry. Paengtantang was elected easily on Friday as her party and its allies hold 314 out of 493 seats in parliament. And she required the vote of at least half of the current legislators to become prime minister. She studied at the elite Conservative Institute of Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok. And like once I start hearing these words like conservative and stuff like that, and I was thinking about that after I closed out of the episode yesterday. I'm like how like actually with the Move Forward Party or the MFP Party was Pheu Thai? Like how, like, because it seems like they always seem to just kind of default to being this like neutral party between what the constitutional monarchy and the military want, and then what the people in the progressive movement really is trying to push. And it just seems like they want to be in both camps and they're playing both sides of the conversation. But yet, like, at the same time, they also bear the brunt of it too. Like, we just talked about Tavisan, and now, Paengtantang, and we've just talked about her family, who there's 2 members who have been put into exile for being prime minister. So it's crazy that now she's stepping up into the role as the youngest. Also, I think she just had her second kid. But let's keep reading. I'm sorry. I'm kind of just jumping all around here. Paengtantang is known by her nickname Ung Ying. Before entering politics 3 years ago, she helped run the hotel arm of her family's business empire. Her political career began in 2021 when she became chief of the Pheu Thai Party's Inclusion and Innovation Advisory Committee. She gave birth to her second child 2 weeks before the 2023 elections, during which she was a favored candidate. Paengtantang is the third person from her family to take the country's top job. Her father, Tasken, became prime minister with the Thai Rock Thai Party in 2001 until he was deposed by a military coup in 2006. Tasken's sister, Yingluck Shinawatra, became prime minister in 2011 until she was removed by the Constitutional Court in 2014 after she dismissed Thawil Pelisari from the National Security Council in 2011. That was followed soon after in 2014 by another military coup following months of political turmoil in Thailand. So they got a little history there. Both Toscan and Yingluck left Thailand for self-imposed exile to avoid arrest until Toscan returned to Thailand in August of 2023, which actually I believe I did cover. Maybe I'm wrong there. I never checked that shit. I just kind of fire from the hip when I say that shit. As well as being the youngest person to take the leadership, Paengtatarns is Thailand's second ever female prime minister after her aunt. Paengtatarn's appointment has come amid a long-running battle between the pro-royalist military establishment and populist parties linked to the Pheu Thai Party. There's more history here. I'm going to skim ahead for the sake of time and convenience. But I will close out in terms of some of her policy here. When she campaigned for election as a prime ministerial candidate last year, Paengtatarn's promises included lowering Bangkok's public transportation fares, expanding healthcare coverage, and doubling the minimum daily wage. So, I mean, despite the conservative roots, despite the fact that, we have the kind of situation where, maybe the PT kind of left the PFP or MFP to kind of, hang to dry. Granted, what can he gonna do in these situations? Maybe, I don't know. If they deliver on those, policies, that'd be great. But that sounds like a very political thing. You know what I mean? Just like we have both candidates in our, neck of the woods in America saying, hey, we're going to make taxes better for, the waiters and waitresses and shit. But, are they really? Maybe. I hope so. But, time's going to tell on all these motherfuckers. We'll see. We shall see. So, yeah, that's my rough shot on Thailand there. And we're going to go ahead and move on. Whew. It's still hot, actually. I'm still sweating. Anyway, let's move on to the Associated Press. White House says prescription drug deals will produce billions in savings for taxpayers' seniors. Ooh, let's get into it. Let's get into the Biden administration. Let's get into some deals. Let's get into some Biden W's. He's not dead yet, y'all. He's still in office. Taxpayers are expected to save billions after the Biden administration inked deals with pharmaceutical. I can say that. I'm not that gone. Pharmaceutical companies to knock down the list prices for 10 of Medicare's costliest drugs. But how much older Americans can expect to save when they fill a prescription at their local pharmacy remains unclear, since the list cost isn't the final price people pay. After months of negotiations with manufacturers, list prices will be reduced by hundreds, in some cases thousands of dollars, for 30-day supplies of popular drugs used by millions of people on Medicare, including blood thinners, diabetes drugs, and blood cancer medications. The reductions, which range between 38% and 79%, take effect in 2026. So I would say up front, what bugs me is the 2026 part, but I mean, that's just how this shit works. It's just a timing thing. But also the fact that, as Americans, we're left in the dark about this shit. And that's just baked into this process, period. And that hasn't changed since it started. There's just things that we don't know about the intricacies of, how much we pay on our drugs and stuff. And I feel like that fucking sucks. And it sucks that they can't give us that information. We kind of have to figure it out on our own as individuals, when we get our bill and you say, okay, well, in 2025, or I guess you should say from 2024, because there are changes. I think there's going to be, caps that are going to be getting put in place in 2025. But, okay, in 2024, we were paying this amount. And now in 2026, we're paying this much. So how much are we saving? And then you can start budgeting from there. But I will still say it's a win. It is at least the best you can do in a broken system that we have that is capitalism and, working a whole Medicare system in that realm, right? That space. It's something. I'll take it. Now, big pharma lobbyists are like, ooh, this sucks. You guys are actually not saving money. It's going to bite you in the ass in the long run. But overall, I think people are happy about it. And I think that this is kind of the only kind of win that you kind of can scrape out of this shit. But let me go ahead and read a little bit just to say we did it outside of the top. Those savings won't kick in until 2026. Until then, some Medicare enrollees should see relief from drug prices in the new in a new rule starting next year that caps how much they pay annually on drugs to $2,000. So naturally, yes, I'm saying Biden administration, but Kamala Harris is also, touting the dub, saying, hey, we're rocking that. We're going to do that for you in the future. Let's see here. Staying on it. Yeah, I'm skipping her quote. I don't really care. I know it's kind of self-sucky. It's like, yeah, you were in the room and yeah, you banged the gavel. Like, cool, dude. Don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for her, but I get it. Anyway, let's talk about what Big Pharma had to say. Instead, they warned Thursday that the new law could drive up prices for consumers in other areas. Already, the White House is bracing for a jump in Medicare drug plan premiums next year, in part because the changes under the new law. The administration is using the IRA's price-setting scheme to drive political headlines, but patients will be disappointed when they find out what it means for them, said Steve Ubel, the president of the lobbying group Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America. Pharma. Also, boo this man, tomatoes for this man. Just because of the fact that not just he's pharma, it's that there. Fuck Big Pharma, but also he's a lobbyist. Fuck all lobbyists. I don't like them. I've never heard a lobbyist story and walked away thinking, wow, that person wasn't like an actual reptile. Like that wasn't like the worst character you've seen in a movie. Like they're like all Littlefinger from like Game of Thrones. They're just not. Yeah, I don't like them. I would send a lot of lobbyists to Tomato Town. I would do it. I'm sorry. I would just, it would happen. Anyway, let's talk about the counter though, and we'll close, at least for this article. The criticism is ironic. Health law expert Rachel Sachs of Washington University said. Drug companies have typically supported capping the price order. Americans pay for drugs because they don't eat the cost. Insurers or Americans who pay premiums do. It makes it easier for patients to afford their medications. It expands their market. They make more money, said Sachs, who helped advise the Biden administration on the implementation of the plans. I mean, you could say a lobbyist by another fucking camp. But anyway, let's go ahead and move along. I just want to talk about that Biden W and how it applies to maybe not you, my young listeners. I've actually checked the cap. There's not that many over 50, which, hey, I'll take. Though, I love all my listeners, whatever the age, from 18 on up, because we do have explicit on there. Your kids should not be listening to me. That'd be crazy. But whatever, I'm not a parent. Anyway, let's go ahead and move along. Let's talk. This is why kids should not be here. I'm about to talk about drugs. I'm about to talk about fucking ketamine. Anyway, from CNN, how doctors and a ketamine queen took advantage of Matthew Perry and played a role in his death, according to prosecutors. Whew. Yes, let's get into this. A cadre of people linked to Matthew Perry, including doctors and North Hollywood's alleged ketamine queen, took advantage of his vulnerability as a recovering addict and supplied the beloved actor with the drug that would ultimately kill him, prosecutors said. Now, 5 people are charged in connection with Perry's death. Yeah, like when I initially heard the headlines, it was like 2 people. It just talks about the doctors at first, and then it just starts rattling. I just hear more headlines about more people, and initially caps out like 5. And I was like, damn, like there's a whole fucking gang of motherfuckers who pumped this motherfucker full of drugs. Obviously R.I.P. But let's see here. Let's get into it. Perry, who starred as Chandler Bing on Friends, died last October at the age of 54. His body was found floating face down in a standalone jacuzzi at his Pacific Palisades home. He died from acute effects of ketamine and subsequent drowning, according to an autopsy report. Perry has, talked about his run-ins with drugs. He got addicted to Vicodin after a jet ski incident during one of his movies, Fools Rush In 1997. But he fell back into addiction in the fall and essentially wound up trying to contact a doctor for drugs. And this doctor was like, okay, I'm about to hit a lick. So 2 doctors, Salvador Placia, I'm getting that wrong, and Mark Chavez, worked to supply Perry with ketamine, Estrada said. And Estrada is U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada. Defendant Pelicina saw this as an opportunity to profit off of Mr. Perry, Estrada said. Last September, 1 month before Perry's death, Pelicina learned that Perry was interested in purchasing ketamine and contacted Chavez. So I wonder if maybe he wasn't exactly his doctor, but a doctor who was like, hey, I can actually help you if you're really serious about it. I don't know. But contacted Chavez according to court documents. In September of 2023, in a text message, Estrada said, Placinia, I'm still going to keep butchering his name, Placencia wrote, I wonder how much this moron will pay. So, I mean, this definitely sets the tone here. You can see that they're going to run him up for as much as they can for the ketamine that they're going to give him. Placencia also wrote that he wanted to be Perry's sole supplier. Now, it doesn't look like that worked out for Placencia, but I imagine that we are going to roll into that. But let's talk about a incident that took place on October 12th, in which Placencia administered a large dose to Perry that caused an adverse medical reaction. Prosecutors said in court, Perry's systolic blood pressure spiked and he froze up, unable to speak or move, prosecutors said. And then I believe that after that moment, he's like, okay, no, he's fine. And then proceeded to just kind of go on about things. Like, whatever, things are A-okay. It's like, dude, that could have been an emergency. He could have died there. By mid-October, Eric Fleming, another person close to Perry, started reaching out to an alleged drug dealer to buy vials of ketamine on Perry's behalf, authorities said. And this is where I say now we're rolling into another faction of people. So it's not these 2 doctors. It's now, it seems to be like maybe a friend of Perry's, whatever. It seems like they're close. I don't know the affiliation, whatever. But defendant, this is an important thing here. Because when it comes down to drugs, these little things, because if you've ever been a person who's ripped off, whether it's a legal transaction or not, it sticks in your craw, dude. So for me, a poor person, this fucked me. From September to October of 2023, Perry was given approximately 20 vials of ketamine that cost him roughly $55,000, the federal prosecutor said. Now, when I first read that, I had no tangible reference. I'm not a fentanyl user. Thank the fucking Lord. You know what I mean? I don't do those kind of drugs, y'all, okay? No, I'm more of a explorer type of guy, uppers and we're not getting into that. But anyway. I wanted to know how much that was because it just felt like I don't know how is that can't be tangible, and you already know that people are calling this guy a moron. They're running him up. So I looked into it. Initially, for a vial, you're looking for one vial of ketamine. You're looking to pay about $60 to $140 on the street, approximately, right? So doing the math here. I think he was running over $2,000. I'm just rounding down here on per vial. It's insane how much markup he was just taking on and just not caring about it because at the end of the day, he's getting now the amount of drugs to satiate himself, get him through the day. And sadly, it sounds like it's very just sad and torturous, the kind of days that he's putting himself through, where he's having his assistant inject him with doses. And I guess we can kind of jump now to that part. And Perry's assistant, Kenneth Iwamasa, injected the actor with ketamine despite having no medical training, Estrada said. I'm sorry. I missed the ketamine queen. That's important to mention here. Obviously, she's a defendant. Defendant Jasmine Sangha, whom authorities call the ketamine queen of North Hollywood, ran what amounted to a drug selling emporium in her home, and that's who Fleming was using as a source to get drugs off of, or get drugs to Perry. But like I said, Iwamasa was injecting the drugs. So they're involved as well now, too. During the final week of Perry's life, Iwamasa injected him with at least 21 shots of ketamine, according to an indictment. Authorities said Iwamasa performed multiple injections on Perry on October 28th, 2023, the day Perry died. Perry's assistant injected him at 8:30 and again at 12:30 p.m. on the day of his death, according to Iwamasa's plea agreement. About 40 minutes later, Perry asked Iwamasa to repair the jacuzzi and said, "Shoot me up with a big one," according to a court document. After Perry's death, Fleming and Sangha tried to delete messages showing they had sold drugs to him, court documents say. And then essentially they were trying to say, hey, I'm pretty sure, like Fleming to Sangha was like, hey, I'm pretty sure the only tie, like we don't have any ties. We talked to the assistant. The assistant's the one that's been injecting Perry. They're the only one that should be implicated. But obviously the trail did lead back to them and they all got done up. So it looks like Palestina, we're going to go with that. I know I'm flopping. Pleaded not guilty to one count of conspiracy to distribute. He's not cooperating. Sorry. Pleaded not guilty to one count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, 7 counts of distribution of ketamine, and 2 counts of altering and falsifying documents or records related to the federal investigation. His attorney told CNN affiliate KCBS there was no evidence to substantiate allegations against the doctor. Essentially, he's just saying, hey, he was doing his due diligence as a doctor, and you shouldn't knock his practices. I'm paraphrasing for the sake of time. Let's see here. Chavez, the other doctor charged, has agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, prosecutor said, which I think is the smart idea. That's the smart play. Let's see. Sangha has pleaded not guilty. I think that's a dumb move, leading to Fleming, who has said he distributed the ketamine that killed Perry, has pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine and 1 count of distribution of ketamine resulting in death. I will actually go back to Sangha. She pleaded not guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, 1 count of maintaining a drug-involved premises, 1 count of possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine, 1 count of possession with intent to distribute ketamine, and 5 counts of distribution of ketamine. Hoo-wee! And then closing out with Iwamasa, who has also pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine causing death. The U.S. Attorney's Office said. CNN has reached out to the attorney. So I think the people who are pleading out, good call, because you're cooked here. Like, this is one of those situations where they are definitely going to make an example of you. Like, good luck trying to fight your case. Like, I don't care how good your lawyer might be, dude. I would take the L and just take what's given here because, no good. But yeah, obviously condolences to the family. I know they do have a quote from the stepfather, Perry's stepfather, and all that. So, obviously flowers. I know I feel like I'm dragging here on time, so I am going to move along here. But this was I'm not gonna lie to you, an update I didn't expect, and call me jaded or what have you. And maybe this was something that I was kind of brooding over about a bit, because like, if this is anyone else, if let's change the drug from ketamine to a fentanyl overdose, and it's someone you or I know, like, is this getting the same kind of coverage? Is this getting the same kind of investigation, from law enforcement? Part of me doesn't think so. And I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I'm sure we all are happy to see justice is served, as we are moving on to our next update, which is also a justice is served kind of situation. It's good, but yeah, like I said, I was surprised to see it. You know what I mean? In this kind of society that we live in, but hey, it's Matthew Perry, it's Friends. They definitely got to fucking tie up that shit for sure, I guess. But anyway, let me not be such a piece of shit. Let me go ahead and take the last break, and we'll go ahead and close it out. Ooh. Okay. From ABC. Missouri woman arrested in alleged scheme to defraud Elvis Presley's family through Graceland sale. A Missouri woman was arrested Friday morning in connection with an alleged scheme to defraud Elvis Presley's family out of millions of dollars and the ownership of Graceland, the Justice Department announced. Lisa Finley is alleged to have orchestrated the scheme to conduct the sale of Graceland by falsely claiming that Presley's daughter, prior to her death, had pledged the famous estate as collateral for a loan she hadn't repaid, prosecutors said. As part of the brazen scheme, we allege that the defendant created numerous false documents and sought to extort a settlement from the Presley family. The head of DOJ's criminal division, Nicole Argenteri, said in a statement announcing the arrest. Finley, 53, of Kimberling City, Missouri, was charged with mail fraud and aggravated identity theft, the DOJ said. During a brief appearance on Friday in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Missouri, she was ordered to be transferred to the Western District of Tennessee, where she was indicted, according to online court records. The government is also moving for her to be detained before trial. She is currently in the Greene County Jail in Springfield, Missouri, and will at least initially be represented by a federal public defender. Ooh, she does not have the coin, hence why I imagine she was trying to run this scam. The criminal complaint, which was unsealed Friday, outlined the alleged scheme, which prosecutors said involved a fake private lender, forged documents and signatures, and a fraudulent foreclosure notice for the Graceland estate in Memphis in an attempt to get millions from the Presley family. Let's see here. The complaint alleged that Finley posed as 3 different people affiliated with a fake private lender called Nasani Investments and falsely claimed that Presley's only child, Lisa Marie, had borrowed $3.8 million in 2018 from the lender, used Graceland as collateral, but failed to repay the debt. Finley allegedly sent an email using one of the aliases to the attorneys of the actress Riley Keough, Lisa Marie's daughter and Presley's granddaughter, about the fake loan, threatening to foreclose on Graceland, according to the complaint. The email was sent in July of 2023, 7 months after Lisa Marie died, according to the complaint. Now, this is where you kind of see where Finley was trying to actually secure the bag for the scheme, and this is why I'm kind of doing so much reading on this one, because we kind of shot from the hip. We didn't know what was happening. We're in a courtroom and there's no one here and everyone's backing out. Now we know what the play is, what was the prestige, and I wanted to talk about it. So Finley then allegedly sought $2.83 million from Presley's family to settle the fake claim by fabricating loan documents and forging signatures of Presley's daughter and a Florida public notary public, the Department of Justice said. She allegedly filed a fake creditor's claim in Los Angeles court and a fake deed of trust with the Shelby County Registrar's office in Memphis, the DOJ said. So that makes way more sense to me. Because I'm like, how are you going to pull off this caper of literally getting Graceland? And it's like, my boy, I'm not trying to get Graceland. I just want the money. And you would think with the pressure and the loss here, I just fucking smash my way in real quick and you make a settlement with me and you just make this all go away. That's what I thought was going to happen. But no, that's not what happened. Keo actually filed a lawsuit making this shit stop. And then Finley had to then say, "Oh shit! Well, I guess I'll send my lawyer in," and then that's it. That's all they really had, because that was the worst case scenario coming onto play. And this isn't Ocean's 11, and this DIY fucking big money scheme, despite all the aliases that she winds up, trying to drum up, it's not enough. Like this all it's just vapor and it just goes away. And she thought, she was like, okay, if they come knocking, I'm going to say this is a Nigerian identity theft situation. I didn't know this was happening to me. I'm a victim too. And it's like, no, dude, we know it was you. We know, like, all the roads, all the signs point to you. So that's why she's getting done up. And then also, I know I kind of just wanted to riff there so we could kind of skip ahead. There's a lot of aliases and stuff like that, but obviously, you want to read it, go ahead, get the full deets. But they do talk about the notary, because, her coming out and saying, hey, that's not me. Like, I didn't sign that. I didn't know. I have no idea about any of this shit. And they do go back to a quote from her, which I guess I will read. The Florida notary public, whose name was on the fake claim allegedly forged by Finley, told ABC News earlier this week that she had no idea her name was used in the scheme. Where did they get my name? That's the $1 million question, Kimberly Philbrick said in her first comments since the Graceland auction story broke. I don't know where they got it. I wish I knew where they got it, because then I could tell them, look, I'm a victim in this. You did this to me too. Which, I mean, like, hey, you're definitely right. And I get that. I respect that. And I actually respect her for, like, immediately saying, hey, that was not me. Like, I didn't do that. That's not my work. So, hell yeah. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, at the end of the day, it just felt weird to be like, man, I'm a victim too. Like, yes, yeah, you know what? If you want to file a lawsuit against Finley, you should do that, by all means. I don't know. I thought that was weird, but I don't know. I felt like I'd heard that before. I guess that is a new thing. Maybe I'm just getting deja vu because I reread the story. I don't know. It's a crazy day. What can I say? But yeah, that's where I'll close it out. See, I went so long, y'all. I'm sorry. I wanted to try to get as many details as I could in and, not go as long at the same time, but we couldn't do it. I failed. I'm sorry. But anyway, that is the episode. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. And then free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Hit that subscription button on YouTube or whatever respective button on whatever listening platform you're on now. Leave a like, leave a cool comment, and sharing is caring. I really appreciate it. But really what I appreciate the most is you just tuning in and listening to me whine or yap about whatever news to the best of my ability until I just can't anymore. I really love that. It makes my day. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.